Hello?
Well, greetings and a most heartfelt salutation to everyone out there. Welcome to this episode of I Stream You Stream right here on the New York Nerd Show. I am Lord Cash. I am being joined by All That Pat, and we have separated ways, and we are no longer in the same state. He's back at home. I'm back at home, and we're here to do some talking.
I'm super excited, Lord Cash, because we're going to be talking about the brand new series on HBO Max, an extension of the Suicide Squad, starring John Cena, Peacemaker. And before we even get going, I have one question for you, Lord Cash. Do you really want to taste it?
Yeah, that is definitely one of those things that that needs to be answered. Before we kind of jump into this, do you want to go full spoilers, or do you want to kind of give our reactions first and like give like a 2-3 minute, here's our thoughts, and then jump into spoilers? What would you rather do?
I just want to get into the reactions personally. There is going to be spoilers, by the way. And I do also want to, you have been warned, yes.
Yes, I want to make sure that people know that this is going to be a full spoiler review. We are going to be talking about them. So if you have not seen them, the first 3 episodes are out on HBO Max. So definitely go check those out. They are being released weekly at this point, but they did first 3, and then they'll just start doing episode 4 later on. So if you haven't seen it, pause this video, come back to it, bookmark it, go watch those 3 episodes, and come on back. What you got there, All That, Pat?
Well, speaking of John Cena, we actually got as a gift recently from actually a former guest of our show, from our friend John. It is for our son. John Cena wrote a kid's book called Elbow Grease. And even though, go ahead.
I want that book. As your kids get older and start attending school, they're going to be bringing home the Scholastic book forms, very similar to that you and I had while we were going to school, and that is one of the choices that you can choose from that's in the Scholastic books order form. And I keep wanting to get it for one, if not both, of my kids, just so I can read it. So maybe one of these nights we may have a read along with All That Pat as he reads this book.
We definitely already we did read it to Orion. In general, it's definitely it's interesting. We will definitely leave it at that. It is an interesting book, and while that is kid friendly, as we learned for sure, Peacemaker is definitely not kid friendly. But that wasn't a surprise, at least to me, because if you've seen Suicide Squad, it definitely wasn't PG by any stretch of the imagination.
No. Going into this, they definitely your warnings when you start the episodes. There's definitely language, violence. There is nudity in these episodes. So definitely, if you're watching them with your children, make sure that your children are of age, that you're okay with them watching this stuff and hearing these things, because definitely, they John Cena has left the PG era of the WWE. Granted, he's been in other movies such as Cock Blockers. He's
Like
been
Trainwreck.
Trainwreck with Amy Schumer. Now he's had other family-friendly movies. There's the one where he's the firefighter, which I think is an excellent movie. It's a great family movie.
Playing with Fire. Yeah, we never saw that one, but I've heard it was good for families for sure.
It's really good. It's a nice family, wholesome movie that you can watch with your younger children.
Right.
So I've watched that with my daughter. It's a really nice one. So he's definitely branching out into the various genres and types of movies, which I think is great. You don't want to lock yourself into one type of movie role. And definitely, as his character, the Peacemaker, he is not like what we've seen that in, like I said, the WWE in that PG era.
I mean, I got to say, with that all being said, I don't know for sure. I mean, not to get too deep in the weeds, but he might be kind of risking, so to speak, of dabbling too deeply into different genres. Because, like, say if you're a parent and for some reason you're not educated, you see John Cena, Make-A-Wish guy, playing with a fire hose in the other one, and then all of a sudden in this one, you see his butt hanging out. You see him basically going at it with a butterfly monster alien thing. Um, you know, he basically goes pretty extreme in this Peacemaker role that flies in the face completely of his wrestling character and the characters he's portraying in other movies. But he does it very well. I mean, he definitely is able to show range, that's for sure.
Well, and again, it's a matter of separating the actor from their roles.
Yeah.
Various other, you look at Jim Carrey, roles of, so like Me, Myself, and Irene. That is a very dark, adult, contented movie, but yet you can watch him in something like The Mask or Ace Ventura, even though that has some moments there, but it's definitely, as an actor, you have to have range, and you have to be able to, as a viewer, separate who this actor is as a person versus their roles.
Yeah, but with Jim Carrey being brought up, again, I guess we are going in the weeds. I remember Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler, and Robin Williams being three comedic actors that come to mind, that when they took the dive and they went off in the other direction, whether it be 1 Hour Photo for Robin Williams, Punch Drunk Love for Sandler, and I guess
23.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, maybe for Carrey.
Well, I was going to say number 23.
There you go. Yeah. Well, number 20. Well, okay. Those particular movies, though, like, while kind of applauded by critics, I think they were a little bit shocking for fans. At least for me, I was big fans of those guys, and all three of their movies that came out that were in the other direction, I was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. But I guess no matter what, like this one for John Cena, it's not serious, nor were any of his other movies. So you still have that going for it. It's not like he's doing some kind of like serial killer role where
Right.
like he's got a big metal helmet on his head and he gives a bird a hug. So,
Well, again, you've also got to look at who who's writing this and who's directing it. It is James Gunn.
And that's from the raccoon, the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Isn't he the director of those movies?
Yes, he did Guardians 1 and 2.
Yeah.
He's also done Super, which is a very kind of a dark super movie, a superhero movie as well.
Oh, that's with Rainn Wilson, right?
Yep. And
I never saw it.
He also directed Slither with Nathan Fillion, the kind of the slug movie that you get to see those in the collector's warehouse in the first Guardians movie. There's those things get a little slipped in there.
Really? Okay. Let's take a look at that again.
So, like I said, he's definitely got the comedy vibe as a director and writer, and definitely, because John Cena is not your traditional Hollywood actor. Did not go to Juilliard, did not go to all these acting schools. I'm sure possibly since then he's done some classes and things of that nature. But James Gunn, very similar to that of Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista is not your acting man. They have a different set of skills that's usually in the ring of WWE. But he's able to bring out what is their strengths, and bringing those moments out and giving them to John Cena and Dave Bautista to make them shine. I think he's done a very well job so far in the first 3 episodes that we've seen. And he also directed The Suicide Squad as well.
Well, and I noticed that like Cena himself was a producer of one of the 4 producers, but like that he actually I guess the producer just bankrolls the thing, isn't that?
Typically, they do a lot of the financing of it. There's some of the decisions that because they are the one that's providing the money, they can steer the movie in a direction, so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, basically, he's one of the executive producers on the show, which it's his character. Why not?
Yeah. No. Exactly. I definitely we'll go into like the steps of the movie in general. I did enjoy this. This is an overall. I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes. The writing was great. I mean, it was funny. I mean, it was like it had this like ridiculousness that made me laugh quite a few times, while also the writing did create a mindset that further pushed that the Peacemaker character is somewhat tragic, in the sense of like he does genuinely, in my opinion, think he's doing the right thing, which
Yep.
I think we saw that in the original, well, the Suicide Squad, where like even though he became the villain, so to speak, he still was kind of like he was trying to protect, what he thought was protecting. But you see his father, played by T1000 Patrick,
Robert Patrick.
Neil Patrick, yeah. Um, and his father's a jerk. I don't know what other words to use. I mean, he's racist. When he gets reunited with his dad, it's just kind of like, hey, I saved the world. Oh, that's it. Like he's a complete. Yeah. So I mean, that kind of shows that the John Cena character has not gotten a lot of love and support in his life. Creating a kind of like a desperate kind of a character, like who wants everybody to see him, praise him. Is just really wanting that interaction from people. So I think that kind of makes you almost want to like pull for him. What were your thoughts on his father?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he was not a nice person. When like so the police officers come to talk to him. There's one that's not American. She's of Asian
Oh my God,
descent,
yeah,
and she gets called chopsticks.
yeah, horribly
You know,
racist.
so definitely he is not a nice person, racist to the degree, which I think some of that may trickle down a little bit to Peacemaker,
Yeah,
and some of the stuff that he does, because he can even talk about like I'm out there, I'm going after the bad guys. Like, yeah, but most of them are black. I'm like, well, they're the ones committing the crimes. Like, well, all right, fine. I'll pay more attention to the white people, and I'll catch them doing crime from now on. Okay, that's
yeah.
at least a guy's compromise.
Well, and what you mentioned though, it's like I think that gives like almost to like the naivety of the John Cena Peacemaker character. He's also very sexist in itself, but he doesn't, to me, appear that he understands that he is. Where
Right.
his father is just blatant. His father's just kind of like, that's he's doing it intentionally, whereas John Cena's character is almost kind of like he was raised in that environment, so he doesn't realize that there's anything different than that.
Right. Yeah, like when they go to the restaurant, the first episode, and he's getting ready to order his meal, he calls to the waitress, "Hey, sweet cheeks, come over here and take my
Yeah.
order."
Yep.
And they're like, "Really? You're calling her sweet?" She's like, "Yeah, she had really nice, cheeks." Like, that's not the
Exactly.
cheeks they're talking about.
Exactly.
He's like, "Oh, I did not know."
Right. And I think that again that adds the to me in my mind that added to the character of John Cena, where I kind of was kind of feeling sorry for him at some point.
Yeah.
But anytime I felt like a real emotion like that, something like crazy would happen the next moment that just made me think like, oh, you can't take this movie seriously, realistically.
No, no, that's not. Then the some of the jokes they set up where something will happen and it'll be like a 2-3 minute, like they will drag this out. The first time we meet Vigilante outside of
Yeah,
Peacemaker's,
yeah,
a room, gets compared to Louis C.K. There's other stuff with when they find out that he's got a pet eagle named Eagly, which one of my favorite characters off the bat is Eagly. Do you
again,
have
I love when he gave him the hug. Like he's like, yeah, take a picture. Yeah, are you serious? Like Eagles like slowly wraps his arm around the
yeah,
Peacemaker.
various things of that nature. So jokes about a certain photo that pops up in episode 3. There's just various things that these jokes that really, like, instead of just being like a one and done, they are like just commented on and just rehashed for a good minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes, which for me, I think kind of adds a little bit to the humor of it. I really haven't been like taken out of the moment because they're doing that.
With that being said, Lord Cash, it's almost refers to me as pacing, right? Like I part of me wonders if this was originally considered to be a movie, and they just decided to stretch it out to a mini series in the sense of the fact they can stretch out those jokes. But even like scenes like after he has basically bedded a butterfly, there's a whole part where he's dancing afterwards. And it's not like a quick just dance. I swear to God, they're listening to the whole song. He's like dancing in his underwear for like a good like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're in an actual movie, like that 2 hour mode of a movie, that'd have been like a quick, like, all right, here's 20 seconds and he gets attacked, you know?
Right.
Same thing for that ability to keep revisiting jokes. I mean, I'm all for it because I'm enjoying it. But you mentioning that idea of revisiting jokes and stretching it out made me think of pacing.
So, to my knowledge, to comment on that is James Gunn from the very, very beginning called up Cena and was like, I have an idea for a TV series.
Okay, so it was scheduled for that to begin with.
Yeah, there was that like literally he wrote 8 episodes in like 8 days. He had this vision and just pinned it out. Probably literally wrote an episode a day. Which that's fantastic. That's brilliant, and that's credit to who James Gunn is as a creative individual. I absolutely love that someone who has that vision, that idea, and can just put it onto paper, put it out there under words. What is in this brain of his is just fantastic.
No, I 100%. He's already proven himself in the world of superhero films for sure, and he knows what he's doing. Now, you mentioned the vigilante character. What were your thoughts on him? This to me, he was like very desperate for attention, almost like the Peacemaker was himself. What were your overall thoughts on Vigilante?
Yeah, I definitely can see that he wants to be involved with Peacemaker. I guess they were good friends before he went to prison. That they did stuff because once they kind of got reunited, even eventually like ever since you went away, I've been stocking up on appliances. And then there's like, again, that 2-minute music montage of them, using bow and arrows, guns, shooting things, lighting off, TNT and throwing it and blowing things up, doing the artwork in, with the bullet designs, that they've done this stuff before. That they have had a friendship there, but because he went away, it kind of simmered down a little bit. But now he wants to rekindle that. He wants to have, that friend. And once we kind of find out who he is, we kind of find out that as a person, as a non-vigilante character, he's very shunned, very, not thought highly of as a person. So I think that kind of carries over into his superhero persona, where he wants that attention. He wants to be part of something, and of course Peacemaker is that person to help be that friend.
Yeah, I want to say it's episode 3 with those two. They have so there's a part in episode, again, I think it's episode 3, involving those two characters that I'm pretty confident that John Cena might have had a hand in a very WWE-esque torture scene. I don't know if you remember that from back in the day with Shane McMahon and Kane.
Yes.
Yeah, the good old car battery to the nads. As soon as he set that up to torture Vigilante, all I could think of was when Kane did that to Shane McMahon back in, like, I don't know, 03. Wow. Sid, do you want to like break down the episodes a little bit, just to kind of like, I think I'm guessing the vibe I'm getting from you, I think that we overall did enjoy the series so far.
Yes, this is definitely one of those. Typically, when I go into a series, I've got my outlook of how I think the show's going to be. I go in with an open mind. Okay, there's either a storyline premise, an actress that I'm really looking to watch, and if the show delivers, I'll come back and watch episode 2, 3, 4, all the way down the road. Usually I give it that 2-3 episodes. If it's not hooked me in by those, I'm out. I've got too much, especially nowadays. There is too much TV stuff and shows, movies, video games, whatever, just life in general, that I don't need to be wasting my time on entertainment that does not entertain.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I mean, like, I skipped out on the you and I talked about it recently. We both skipped out of that Star Wars Visions show when there's the anime. I don't know. I watched one episode, couldn't get into it.
So I'm gonna tell you one though. I think I found, because I haven't watched all of them, but I watched an episode on the airplane ride home. The Ninth Jedi. Little side note here. Probably one of my favorite episodes.
The Night of the Jedi.
The ninth.
Okay,
So not eighth, but Ninth Jedi.
gotcha. Yeah, I'll check that out.
So that one is at least good. That one's good. But it's yeah, it just, that those episodes did not grasp me. I know that people rave about it. That's awesome. I'm glad that they enjoy that. But didn't do it for me. Peacemaker, however, I'm going to let you know, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit. But there was the opening sequence,
Love
with
it.
him waking up out of his surgery and talking to, like, wait, no one's out there looking for me. I can just
Yeah.
walk out the door, and having that little interaction with the janitor was great. It kind of set the mood. But then this happens. You get the intro to this,
I
and
love it.
you asked if I want to taste it. This song by was it
Wigwam.
Wigwam. It is just absolutely, like, I watch this and I go, wait, what exactly am I watching? What is going on here? You've got John Cena with this, just straight face, and everyone pretty much is, they're very serious about this. But it's a whole big musical number that's going on. And if you haven't heard this song, definitely check it out. Check out, if nothing else, you can YouTube this little intro. Just type in Peacemaker intro. And it is just absolutely ridiculous on what this show is. And again, you see, all the people that are involved in this show, and some of them that are just have like a one moment, like the janitor's in here. He's right here. That was only in the first episode. You've got the next door neighbor to his dad that just pops up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is going on here? It is absolutely ridiculous. You got Judo Master with this little kid. I don't know who he is. Then Eagly comes in. It is just absolutely ridiculous, this opening, and I think it kind of just sets the pace, sets the mood, sets the reality of what you're about to watch. If you had any questions, that I thought it was fantastic. I thought that is fantastic.
Yeah, I've probably played it on our Google devices in the house.
Yeah,
at least 10 times, like in the past day. It's just like I can't get it out of my head.
So
better than Baby Shark.
Here locally on one of our radio stations, that's a talk radio, on Fridays they do a segment called the Ones and Twos, and basically they will showcase what are the number one and number two played songs in the United States, and they usually go off of iTunes, because it kind of shows the fluctuation. If a new artist drops an album or a couple songs, they'll see those rise up the morning. Like, he'll check it at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and it's like low. And then as people wake up and see the stuff, that song will rise to it. When an episode of Ted Lasso popped up, they used a song in that, and because of that, that song really rose up the charts on iTunes. So
right.
I can't imagine if it had. I didn't catch Friday's episode when because these shows are released on Thursday. So I would not be surprised if a couple days ago on Friday that this song had risen up. If not by next Friday, as the word gets out of oh my gosh, you got to go watch Peacemaker, you got to watch this. Oh, check out the intro. That those things are going to drop, and people are going to watch this, and then again buy this song, buy this track, that it's going to go up in popularity.
100%. I mean, that song was released in 2010, so for whatever reason it came onto the ears of one of the producers, whether it be James Gunn or Cena or whoever, and now of course they're going to be making bank on this song now, because I never heard it before.
Yeah, and I haven't heard the song either, but a lot of the music, that's one thing that I've noticed, is like the music is very much a key character in this. You mentioned, after has a relationship with one of the female characters,
Yeah,
has this 2 minute. I don't know if it was from Cinderella or if it was another
I think it
album.
was Cinderella. Yeah,
'Cause I know he talks about that, but plays the record, the vinyl, and just dancing around, just doing singing into a microphone.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and so it's just the music.
Well,
Um,
even after that fight, and when he's running away from the authorities, the music, that's what he goes back for. He goes back to steal all the albums. Like it was just
yeah.
like showing the importance of the songs, for sure, even in the character themselves' mind. Um, but I know you actually sent me a message the other day, that shows the calendar of the episodes that are coming out.
Right.
Obviously, they gave us a 3 episode drop just to hook us. You said it's like, is it next Thursday that the episode 4 will be coming out?
So yeah, episode 4 should be on Thursday. I'm actually pulling that up. So yeah, episode 4 will be on the 20th. It's pretty much a week, an episode each week. So you'll have 27th, February 3rd will be episode 6. Then the finale, episode 8, will be on February 17th.
Okay. Yeah, I mean
So pretty
that'll be
much
a
a
nice.
month from today, we will have all of the episodes out there to stream and watch. Pretty much.
Yeah, definitely enjoying this. I mean, I haven't seen many. Well, actually, I have seen a couple of the DC shows over the years. Granted, there's not like a DC Studios yet that I'm aware of that really everything falls in line with as much as say a Marvel. Um, like this has nothing to do with like the Gotham series that Batman had.
No,
There's no
no.
connection to that.
The
Um,
the DC movies is technically they try to do the what's called so Marvel is the MCU, the Marvel
right,
Cinematic Universe.
right.
Um, DC has the DCEU. So I think it's like the DC Extended Universe or something of that nature.
Yeah, that makes
Or
sense for the acronym.
so everything from starting with Man of Steel, Justice League, Batman v Superman, the Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. Technically, those are all part. Aquaman, all those are part of that universe.
Yeah,
Technically, um, though some of them have not done as well.
right. Yeah, I mean, but I think they're getting better. I think that they're starting to become, more solid, like, the Wonder Woman, Aquaman. I think Justice League definitely, even though it had some controversies as far as, the directors and all that, I think overall it was a solid film, well, whatever version you might consider. Then obviously, yeah, both Suicide Squads I think were good. I know there's 3 of them, wasn't there?
Well, there's 2 Suicide Squads, and then there's the Birds of Prey, the Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Because the first Suicide Squad, did that one have Will Smith?
That was with Will Smith. He was
Yeah,
Deadshot.
yeah. Second one was great. But I don't know. I basically, like, we can both like ramble all night because of like just how much we are enjoying the Peacemaker show in general. Are there any thoughts that you have as we go into episode 4? Like things that kind of, because you watched it this morning, correct?
Yeah, so I watched the first episode last night before going to bed. Nice little visions to sleep upon. And then I woke up this morning, and after I got one of my kids to work, I was like, all right, I'm gonna settle down. And I watched the episode 2 and 3. So they're nice and fresh in my brain. Of course, it's Sunday, came out 3 days ago, so
Yeah.
can't be too far removed from yours.
No. I mean, like, do you think we're done with his father? I
Oh,
mean,
no, absolutely. Because so one of the things, he gets framed for the explosion that kills the first lady that we find out is a butterfly.
Yep.
And that's one of the terms they keep using is, oh, we're going to kill butterflies. We're going to kill butterflies. And Peacemaker is like, what's butterfly? No one will tell me what a butterfly is. Why are we killing them? And we find out in episode 3 that one of these senators is a butterfly. We don't know if the wife and kids are as well. And then they pour out this like honey type looking goo into a bowl, and all 4 of them hold it up, and you just see this elongated tongue sucker come out to like eat this honey goo, and like, okay, they're all butterflies, kill them all. And even, you know, Peacemaker is like, he's having struggling issues with of killing kids, even though they are alien butterflies, whatever creatures. He's having a hard time doing that, and that's when, you know, Vigilante comes in, is like, don't worry, buddy, I got this.
He knocks him out cold.
Yeah, he gets the mom and the two kids before Judo Master, who is the bodyguard for the senator's family. He comes in and beats them up, and pretty much takes Peacemaker and Vigilante hostage. And that's when they encounter the father doing all the torturing stuff, trying to cut off the toe and, you know, roasting some testicles, things of that nature.
Right.
And then, of course, eventually Peacemaker escapes, takes a shotgun and blows off the dad's head. And that's when we see this little creature come out and like flies away. And it's like, oh, butterfly. I get it now. So, and then of course we also see the world map of potential butterflies, and there's just red dots all over the place. So that's going to be a big plot point. As we said, that his dad gets set up for having done the frame for the explosion that happens, which of course we find out. Okay, again, I'm doing a little sidetrack as I'm talking. He's got multiple helmets that do different things.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy the fact that his dad built all that stuff. Like, his dad's got this like really like basic suburban house, and they're arguing and everything, and the dad's so like withdrawn, you know, doesn't care about him. He goes, "Well, I assume you want a helmet or whatever," and they just go into a random closet, and it's like this crazy, like,
it's all
Avengers, Tony Stark Enterprises kind of like, you know, warehouse of helmets and such.
Yeah, so there's like 5 or 6 helmets in there. One of them, he's like, that one X-ray vision, you know, this one does that. This one helps you breathe underwater, and I guess the one that he has does like an atomic blast or something.
Yeah.
And so he's sitting there in his underwear right by his car, puts on the helmet, and he's like, activate sonic blast, and it just sends out like this pulse, covers him like in a force field, and it just like has this like explosion that goes off, which of course kills the lady that's the butterfly. And of course the tech guy on their team frames their dad, makes the registration to his car to him, and changes out the fingerprints and everything. So he gets framed, goes to prison, and apparently he's got his own spot at prison.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's got his own gang.
And then all these people, mostly probably, I believe they were all white, come and kneel down before him and call him the White Dragon, and kind of almost do the Hitler salute.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly, it's a racist, like KKK, Nazi type of ideal right there.
So, you know, there's definitely a lot more that's going to play out between his father. More stuff that's going to be in with butterflies. There's
more dancing.
Absolutely more dancing,
and more eagerly.
And more eagerly. I definitely. So I know with the Suicide Squad, I have the Peacemaker Funko Pop. I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the Peacemaker run of Funkos, and I got to have an Eagly. I need an Eagly.
It has to somehow posable wings though, so you can give any other pop.
Well, I'm sure they'll have like a moment where he's actually giving, you know, Peacemaker a hug.
I can actually that's probably gonna be the pop.
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be Peacemaker with Eagly wrapping his arms around him.
Be a deluxe one. So
yeah, call it now.
But anyways, I definitely think this was a great show. I enjoyed it. I believe you enjoyed it as well.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, Thursday is going to drop episode number 4. So I like when they drop a bunch of episodes like right off the bat, because it really gives you that chance to suck you in. But then it's like next week, okay, we just watched 3 episodes. Yeah, that was like, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours of content. And then Thursday, we're going to get like 40 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, they know what they're doing, you know.
Of course. there's the marketing strategy that goes along with it. So the question is, our viewers, what did you think of the first 3 episodes of Peacemaker? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was the content genre not up to your liking? Did you watch the Suicide Squad starring John Cena as Peacemaker, or the first introduction to it? Did you like that, and maybe you don't like this, or vice versa? Who knows? Leave those comments down below. All that Pat or myself, we will reply back to those comments. I like to interact with you. If by chance you're not watching this live and you're watching this on a repeat, definitely leave those comments down there. And of course, subscribe to the New York Nerd Show channel, whether it is on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We'll definitely appreciate that. We like to see the love there, and of course, spread the word of the nerd. Tell your family and friends about us as well. And of course, we do have a bunch of archived videos that we've been doing over the past 18 months or so. So definitely check those out over on YouTube under the New York Nerd Show channel. And of course, we have a whole bunch of content that we like to talk about, whether it's wrestling, TV shows, card collecting, Funko Pops, you name it, we talk about it. So definitely give us a like and let us know what's going on there. All right. Well, I think we are going to wrap things up. What are you going to send off our viewers with tonight?
Just, you got to listen to the theme song. Go on YouTube, listen to Do You Want to Taste It by Wigwam. You won't regret it.
Yeah, like I said, there's the YouTube video. You can watch the whole thing if you want that visual. The song is great, but you need the visual of all the dancing and everything. It's fantastic. So until then, if you can stream it, go watch it. Bye-bye, everybody.
Adios.
Hello.